What if you have an impressive list of achievements, but you still permanently feel like you're not enough? No matter how much you do, you still feel defective. You never give yourself credit. All of your accomplishments don't even register, and you constantly doubt yourself, feeling inadequate and insecure. You might also happen to procrastinate with a lot of tasks, or you tend to push yourself beyond any reasonable limit. You might neglect yourself while you are trying to prove yourself to the world. I think all of these are signs of imposter syndrome, and this is one of the things that can majorly hold us back in life. Hey guys, my name is Paulina, if this is your first time meeting me, and let's talk about how to get rid of imposter syndrome for good. I want to give you 5 ideas/strategies that you can use to finally overcome the imposter syndrome. And we will start with inspecting your ideas. We are all operating from certain beliefs. Every single person has their own set of ideas, which serves as the foundation for his life. And guys, an idea can literally change the course of your entire life. Ideas are extremely powerful, and you should never underestimate an impact that an idea can have on your life. I think one of the most beneficial things you can do for yourself to overcome the imposter syndrome is to inspect your beliefs, to see where they're coming from and why they're shaping your behavior in a certain way. I need to warn you that this can be a very ugly process because there are a lot of emotions that you might uncover when you're facing your set of beliefs. When you're writing down your beliefs, I need you to trace their origin, because most likely your negative beliefs are not your own. You might have picked them up from somewhere else. Your parents might have told you certain things, or maybe the world seemed unsafe in a certain manner, so you inherited those beliefs from someone else. This is a super important step of the process when you're inspecting your beliefs, because when you can trace the origin of your beliefs, you can disown them. You can finally say, this is not my idea. Like, I don't want for this idea to define my life, to define my identity. I don't want for this to have such a big power over me. This is truly like opening the Pandora's box. And while the process can be messy, I think it can definitely free you in the long term. Oftentimes, this process requires you to look into your childhood. And this can also be a painful process for a lot of people. But I also want to recommend a book that might assist you in this process. The book is called The Child in You Must Find a Home, and it was written by Stephanie Shaw. This book can definitely guide you when you're uncovering your beliefs. I want to highlight that what I just said is the most important thing in this entire video, because maybe you have already understood it by now, but no amount of accomplishments, no amount of achievements in the world can fix your internal state if you don't fix it yourself, if you don't understand where it's all coming from. You can secure achievement after achievement, but inside you will still feel like an imposter, because the root cause is not the lack of achievements. The next thing I want you to understand is the Dunning-Kruger effect. This is a phenomenon in psychology that shows that beginners can be overly confident when it comes down to their knowledge in a certain subject, whereas the experts can feel like they're underqualified because they understand the true complexity of the subject, and they feel like the more they know, the more they understand that they know very, very little. This is very paradoxical, but also it's a very common psychological trap. And I feel like people who suffer from imposter syndrome can truly experience the Dunning-Kruger effect as well. It is just a cognitive bias, but it is not married to reality whatsoever. It is honestly hard, but I encourage you to look at your accomplishments objectively. Look at your LinkedIn page. Look at how much time you spent doing something. Look at your resume. Look at your website. Just reread all of those things that you have done in your life, and I feel like that can bring you back to a more like objective reality, and that can give you more confidence. And ultimately, confidence is what helps us overcome the imposter syndrome. The next thing I want to talk about is I want you to feel proud of yourself. I know it's much easier said than done, but there are definitely strategies that can help you feel proud of yourself long term. And I feel like this is ultimately the goal, because you need to have a good connection with yourself. You need to have love for yourself. You need to have trust with yourself. Without all of these things, living this life can be extraordinarily difficult. And this is unnecessary. The sooner you can feel proud of yourself and establish this connection with yourself, the sooner you can live the life that you want. I think that people with imposter syndrome discredit themselves all the time. They discredit their achievements. They feel like nothing is ever enough. They themselves are never enough. And this feeling just follows them everywhere they go. People with imposter syndrome also tend to hype up other people's achievements and feel like they are smaller next to these people. And then they tend to shrink themselves even further. So let's do this today. Write down your accomplishments. And maybe you even need to do it daily. Like I used to do this practice where at the end of the day, I would write down everything I did that day. And I would just review that list, and I would feel proud of myself. When you write it down, when you have proof on paper and you do it daily, then you can just flip through those pages and you can remind yourself, I have a lot to be proud of. I am proud of myself. Another good idea is to write a letter to yourself, thanking yourself for yourself. All of these little things help to rewire our brains long term, but none of this will work overnight. You need to consistently take steps, and you need all of this to rewire your neural connections that have been forming throughout your entire life. The fourth thing I'm going to say is I encourage you to take small actions and disregard the bigger picture. When people with imposter syndrome look at their goal, they can easily feel overwhelmed, and this can lead to a lot of procrastination, because you start to think, this is such a behemoth of a task that I don't even know how to approach it. So even while you are combating your imposter syndrome, it's important to keep taking small actions, small steps towards your goal without thinking of the entire goal at the same time. I personally don't think that actions alone help to get rid of imposter syndrome, but they keep you moving, they keep you engaged, they keep you connected to life and connected to other people. So it's very important to keep doing this as you're navigating this whole complex issue. And I want to leave you with an analogy that relates to why I don't want you to think about the giant mountain of the goal that you're imagining in your head. Like, no one is expecting a woman in her first trimester to give birth tomorrow, right? So don't put too much pressure on yourself. Oh, I have to prove myself to other people. I have to do this extra fast. And this pressure is what keeps us frozen. The last thing I'm going to say in this video is that you should remember that this is your life and you're living it for yourself. And you have an absolutely unique story. We all fall into this trap where we start comparing ourselves to other people. It's especially easy when you have Instagram on your phone and you just scroll and you feel inadequate compared to someone else's highlight reel. But please don't do this to yourself. This is simply not kind to yourself, and I think we should all practice kindness towards ourselves. You can delete Instagram temporarily if that's what you need to break this habit. But just please remember, your story is completely unique. There's no other person on this planet with your unique story. Never compare yourself to other people. Compare yourself just to yourself in the past and see how much you have grown, and give yourself credit and feel proud of yourself. I think you are uniquely you, and you are very knowledgeable, you're very thoughtful, and you definitely want to reflect on yourself, which is an amazing quality. And I feel like most people don't have it, but the fact that you're watching this video means that you want self-reflection and you want to get better and you want to become a better human. So that alone speaks volumes. I think this might be the last video I film in 2025. And I just wanted to thank you guys for being here with me This year was an amazing year with a lot of growth, sometimes amazing, sometimes not so pleasant, to be completely honest. But I can't wait to see you guys back here in 2026. Bye, guys.